Hey folks, it's Mark here from Harmonix Tuition, where we give you the knowledge to get good on the guitar. Harmonix is your channel for easy to follow guitar lessons for all levels. Today is an intermediate lesson and it's pretty involved, but it's a really good one for you to get the hang of. It's an 80s style heavy metal riff, but it's designed to help you with your alternate picking. So in this video, you'll learn how to develop your alternate picking, which is inside and outside of the string picking. You'll also learn to develop your accenting, and it's a pretty cool riff too. Enough talk, let's check out the riff. Okay, let's break it down. So let's get started. I'm in the E power chord position here, the upper octave, and this is fret 7 with my first finger and fret 9 with my third finger. Okay. So what we're doing here is I'm going to start with 3 downstrokes to begin with, and the first one is going to be accented. So I mentioned before the demonstration that this particular riff is going to help you develop your accenting. What I mean by that is using a slightly heavier pick, not faster, but more pressure to make a slightly louder sound for that particular pick. And what that does is it creates a pulse or a rhythm within inside what you're playing. Okay, and this is a mechanic that you really want to try and get good with, because it really sounds great in the absence of drums and things like that, because the listener, either consciously or subconsciously, can pick up the rhythm inside of what you're playing. It's a really good skill to have. So this will help you develop that, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm playing a down, up, and a down. So down, up, down. And the first note is going to be slightly heavier, like this. You can hear that, bub, bub, bub. Okay. Then from there, obviously, this is alternate picking. So everything is I'm going to start with a downstroke, and it's never going to be 2 downs or 2 ups. It's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up all the time without fail. Okay. So what I'm going to do is down, up, down. Then I'm immediately going to go to the 9 with an upstroke and follow that by a down, up on the string above on the first finger. Like that. Okay, so down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, I shouldn't really need to explain any further, I think, if I'm doing a down or an up. If you know I started with a down, you know it's always going to be up, down, up, down, up, down from then on. Okay, so we can move past that, I think. My accenting here is going to be on all the notes that are going to be on the D string, and also the very first note that I played there to begin the riff. Okay, so the notes on the D string, I'm always going to be playing 2 notes on this string unless I tell you otherwise. We start with 3, but it will be 2 after that. Okay, so on the D string, I'll show you the notes I'm going to be playing, and they're always going to be accented. Okay, so with the exception of the beginning where I played 3 notes, but the first one was accented. Okay, I'm always going to be accenting the notes on the D string. Okay. I'm going to be playing 9, 10, 9, 7, and back to 9. Notice there I started another loop, so I have to do 3, because instead of playing a note on the D string, which is accented, I'm playing the note that's accented on the A string, which is this fret 7, the one that we're picking all the time at the top. So I had to do that 3 times, because 1 is the accented note to keep the rhythm going, and the 2 after that are the 2 that I'm always doing on the A, if that makes sense. So let me show you it really slowly again. So I'll show you so you can see the right hand. Bear in mind I'm starting with a downstroke, so as soon as I play a down, it's always going to be followed by an up, and then a down, and then an up. So let's do it slowly. Okay, so if you want to go by what strokes are going to happen on the D string, it's going to be up, down, 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 up. And the reason I'm kind of accent in that one is because I'm looping it again, which I do once in the first part of this riff, okay? So the latter half of this riff is going to be on the D position, okay? So once we've done this once through, once, notice there, after I've done this 9 and I've done the 2 here, it's going to be a down and an up. I move down with my first and third finger from frets 7 and 9 on the A and the D respectively to frets 5 and 7. Okay, and because that was an up, it's going to be a down on the fret 5, then an up down, and then an up. Like that. So let me do that slowly. Down, up. Remember, the important thing here isn't so much doing it quickly, it's about getting it perfectly correct. Okay, so go as slow as you need to do it to not make a mistake with the downs and the ups. And you should never be playing 2 downs or 2 ups or catching one string more than one pick, unless it's on this A string where we're doing lots of double picks here. Okay, here's the whole thing together, nice and slow, really slow. Okay. Okay, and that's the first part of the riff. Just want to take a second to thank you for liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss any of our uploads. If you're interested in coaching, checking out our social media, or supporting the channel with products, all the information is below in the description box. So the second part of the riff, once we've done this part, once you've done these 2 notes here after putting your third on the 7 here, there's the last 2 there. There's going to be an upstroke, so we move down now to the C position. It's kind of a C Lydian kind of sound. Okay, so my first finger is going to be on fret 3 on the A. My third finger is going to be on 5 now on the D. And we're going to be starting with a down, and it's going to be the same kind of pattern as we did up here, but the notes are going to change. The notes on the D string for this next part, we're always going to have our finger on fret 3, okay? But we're going to have our third finger playing fret 5. Our pinky's going to stretch up, so we're going to get some use out of these 2 fingers here, at least, with this riff. We're actually using all our fingers for this whole riff, which is pretty cool. And it's going to be reaching up to fret 7. Then our second finger is going to come down, the third's going to come off, and that's going to play fret 4, and then we're going to bounce back to 5. So that'll look like this, starting with a downstroke on fret 3 on the A string. So same pattern in terms of the right hand technique as we did here in the E position, but we're down here. So. We're starting with a down, remember? 1, 2, 3. The first one's going to be heavier, remember, because we're starting up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? That's the second half of the riff, but obviously it's a little bit more complicated unless you see the whole thing together. So I'm going to play the entire thing now, combined, and you can see it all together, okay? So the 2 ways that you can end this lick, after you've repeated this particular part down here in the C Lydian kind of position, you've repeated that twice, and you get to this note again, the fret 5 on the D string, you can either add vibrato to end it and slide back to the E position, or you can continue to pick with the 2 ups here and slide back up. Let me show you what I mean. So here's the continuing to pick version. Bear in mind, this is the second time I've going to have done this, okay? And I'm back there because I did these two here before I slid, okay? Or you can end with vibrato. And slide back up. And now up to speed with all the accenting kind of as hard and as heavy as I can kind of do it, so you can hear the t kind of pulse beating through it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to leave the intermediate playlist here. I'm sure there's other lessons in there that will be of value to you, so make sure you check them out. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.